Urban farming, also known as urban agriculture, is the practice of cultivating, processing, and distributing food in or around cities. It promotes the efficient use of limited urban spaces to produce food locally and sustainably. Wabusera Emma, an agriculture student at Metropolitan International University, is among the few Ugandans dedicated to advancing urban farming. He uses innovative approaches to address the issue of malnutrition among both rural farmers and urban dwellers. Wabusera actively demonstrates his practices at the Makerere University Agricultural Research Institute in Kabanyoro, where he educates the public on practical urban farming techniques.
I'm called Wabusera Emma. I chose agriculture and I look good when I'm doing agriculture. And this is why, because I love to solve problems around people in the urban areas and around people who are living in the small spaces. Many people around, they say that they cannot get the fresh vegetables, they say that they cannot get the fresh food because of the space that they are having, and most of them actually they don't know how to do it, and most of them they are not ready to do it. But today I'm passionate in it, and I love to teach you how to do this so that we all put energy together and solve this problem that it is going around the world, and people are living with a lot of malnutrition, sickness around the world. And here, Emma, I just love good to solve people's problem and to give them health. Here we go. This is my garden. And this garden of mine, it just needs the little space. We have a lot of gardens. And these lots of gardens you have it around you. And I always want to tell you, why do we do this? Because as I told you, we are solving a lot of problems around you. Maybe littering the city, and also we are fighting a problem of climate changing. You know, in urban areas, people, they don't look at a green like something that can solve a problem around them. Because sometimes you wake up, you open the window, it is like you're opening the room. You're not seeing something green, but you've opened the window. And remember, you are a person, you need oxygen, but you don't have even oxygen around you. And sometimes people, they do it good. They know how to do it, but they go for flowers. If I was a florist, I was going to go for it. But you're not a florist. Why do you go for something that you're not going to use, or something that you're not going to use? I'm here to tell you that here it is a thing that you can go. Even only you can look at this. This is the percolator, and it is old. Instead of dumping it around, you can use it as a garden at home. And you see, I planted here my lemongrass. But now you see my lemongrass, it is now good. Yeah, I can harvest, then I spice it with my black tea, and I can enjoy. Not like I've gone to a market looking for the lemongrass, but I can get the lemongrass around me. I cannot exhaust it because it has a lot of things that we can use it for. So, this is all about urban farming. What is urban farming? Urban farming is a growing and cultivation of food using an innovative and also substance knowledge. And in the substance and innovative knowledge, we have different kinds of doing it. We can do the innovation of using our gumboots. You have seen my gumboots. I've planted onions, and also I've planted in my gumboots, I've planted mint, and it is growing very healthy. Then we can use this one. This one you can use the bucket, but me, I went and bought a bucket, but you don't need to buy a bucket. You can use any bucket around you. Maybe it has grown old, it has broken, so you can use it. So you are seeing my rosemary, it is growing very healthy. I don't need to go to the market to buy a rosemary. It is already around me. And another thing, you can use anything. You can use the polythene bags, you can use what? That's the only thing, let it accommodate the growing media. It can do you very well. Before using my containers or my gumboots, anything that I can grow in, I first get my things, then I can sterilize it. How do I sterilize it? Because maybe my garden that I'm going to grow in, it has some fungal diseases, fungus. I can call it fungus. So the crops, they are affected with fungal diseases, and it comes with a pathogen. So if you want, you can also first wash your garden thoroughly with a detergent, then get the growing media. As we know, in agriculture, we don't use only soil. Soil, you just know, in agriculture, it is a growing media. So we can use a lot of things to grow our crops. We can use the peat moss, we can use the rock wool, we can use sawdust. Then it just needs the nutrients. So here I've used small soil. I picked soil. Any soil it can do for you. Expect the clay soil. The clay soil it cannot do because it retains a lot of water, and once at a time it also compacts. So we go for a loam soil. We can go for any soil apart from clay. So we mix it with sawdust. Why do we mix it with sawdust? Because many farmers outside there, they know that as they just get the soil and pour in their gardens, it can do. I'm here to tell you that it cannot do, because the soil, it will not breathe. If I add my sawdust, I'm going to create more space. Like I can say the air space, the capacity of water retaining it will also increase. So I must to mix it with a sawdust, but some people around your environment, you can not get the sawdust. There you can use sand, because sand, when you incorporate it with your soil, it is also going to give your soil space of breathing. So with time, your soil cannot be compacted like an anthill. Yeah, so you just need also to incorporate your soil with the manure. You can use compost manure. You can use inorganic fertilizers like DAP, NPK. But for me here, I go organically. I don't use any inorganic fertilizer. I use compost manure. That one, I got the chicken droppings, I got the cow dung. Actually, here at our farm, we have BSF projects. Then we have earthworm farming, where we get our manure from such projects, then we use it in our garden.
Gaining a deeper understanding of urban farming can help you reap big so long as you follow the right steps and utilize your garden space wisely. Even small gardens can accommodate a variety of crops if managed well.
I have here another garden. It is a tower garden. A tower garden, to start it, the only thing I need sacks. And not every sack can do for you. You go a hard sack that you don't tear it. You leave it as it is. So the only thing, you fix it together, like using a needle, or sometimes you can use a machine to sow to fix your sacks. So that the down level, before I start, I must to level my ground, because if you don't level your garden, it will fall with time, because you must to level the ground so that your garden can be at a level. So there, I fix my sacks here the down level, because fixing the sacks, it is regardless to the garden that you need, because we have other people they need bigger gardens. We have other people they have the small space and they want the small garden. So here I use this because I loved it and it was of my choice to go for this one. But for you can create, if you want, you can do something big more than this one. But for you, if also you want, you can do something small than this one. So I fix my sacks. After fixing my sacks, I make sure it is on the level. Then I get my soil. First of all, I get my soil. I start piling it in the sack, in these round sacks that I've done what? That I've joined. Then after, I get the sawdust. Because I told you, if you don't mix your soil with sawdust, it is going to compact. And once it compacts, the roots of the plants, they are not going to do what? They are not going to penetrate, and the plant, it will not reach on the nutrients. After there, I must also add manure. I get the compost manure either from poultry, either from livestock animals. Then when it has already decomposed and it is not fresh, because the fresh manure it scorch your plants. So I get a well decomposed manure. Then I mix, also I put in the soil. Then I also go for, after mixing, I go add the second stair. And also I measure it, because the down sacks, it was somehow wide and I'm making stairs going up. I must also reduce also the what? The number of sacks. Here how I do. This one I join the 6, then here I'm joining 5 to leave the space of growing my crops. I also do the same. I add the soil, I add the sawdust. Then after adding the sawdust, I add more soil on top, and also I add manure. So I do it going high. Like it is your choice either to stop there or to continue high. Oh yes. So in the middle of my garden, I put the heart of the garden. The heart of a garden, I use stones. Why do I use stones? Because my garden, it needs to be watered. And while watering my garden, I just pour water in the what? In the heart garden, where the water is going to supply in the whole of my garden. I don't need to go around watering. I just come to the point of the heart of the garden, because the stones, it started from the first stair of my garden to the last stair of my garden. So if I want to water, I might not have the pipe to put it here, but I might have the watering can. So I come with my watering can, I start pouring water from here. Then this water, it is going to supply the whole of my garden. And my crops, they are going to grow very well. So come at the time of planting my crops in my garden. So I plant according to the spacing. So as you see this one, it is the cauliflower. The cauliflower, I spaced it according to its space. I used 65 centimeters. Then the next year, I also love to plant broccoli. I also spaced it according to its space. Then I came also, I was like thinking of another type of crops. I did what? I planted spinach, and also I planted green pepper. I also went to another next step. I planted spinach. Then the last step, I planted onions. So this is my tower garden.
A tower garden is one of the most effective and space-saving ways to practice urban farming. Wabusera demonstrates how a vertical tower garden can be set up in your compound, making it an ideal choice for homes with limited space.
We have different crops that can go on this garden of ours that we call a garden tower. So we have horticulture. You can do your horticulture from here. And if I talk about horticulture, I'm talking about greens. I'm talking about spinach, as you're seeing. I'm talking about cauliflower. I'm talking about broccoli. But now you can do also fruits. And the best fruits that you can do on the tower garden, it can be strawberry. Strawberry, you can do it on your tower garden, and you will not need to go on in the market and buy strawberry. You can also plant the spices. You can, as I told you, can plant meat. You can plant something like lemongrass. You can plant your rosemary here, and it can do very well. For those ones who also wants to design their tower gardens, they can use it for their flowers. The only thing, you can paint it. Then after painting it, you can bring your good flower and you put on it. And this, it does very well in schools. If you go around schools, people, they ask you, I want a tower garden, but my tower garden, I want it to look good. The only thing you need is to paint it. Then after painting it, you can write there your sayings, maybe the motto of the school. You can maybe write the vision of the school there. And you plant your vegetables. And these vegetables, it can feed your teachers. And it can also feed your students, maybe pupils, maybe your family. And it is really looking good. I did somewhere else, but it is also looking good. So you can plant a lot of things here, but not perennial crops. You know, the perennial crops, it cannot accommodate this type of land. We look on something small that can be planted on this land. Anything that you see cabbage talk about different things. It can do very well in our gardens.
Tower gardens are best suited for annual crops and vegetables. Wabusera advises against growing perennial crops in these setups as they are not ideal for vertical growth and may limit productivity.
It depends on the material that you used. We have other farmers, they want to use this tower garden, they want to build this tower garden using tires. The old tires of the vehicle, and their garden, it can take like 5 years and above. But the only thing, you change the garden or you treat the soil. You can treat it using actually feeding the soil using manure or using inorganic fertilizers. But this one, using of the sacks, remember I've not painted it, and also the weather, it affects the garden if you use the sacks. The only thing, you can paint it. If you paint your sack, it is going to go 3 years, 2 to 3 years when you're using the garden. Planting all the seasons, you eat, then you plant again. You can harvest on your garden, you can harvest something like 5 seasons when you're using your garden. The only thing, if the garden exhausts, it is to feed it. With manure, you can feed it with fertilizer, and like that until it exhausts. When it exhausts, the garden will just tell you that I'm tired.
Different materials can be used to build a tower garden depending on what's available and your preferences. From recycled containers to fabric grow bags, there are many affordable and creative options to choose from.
For pest control in our tower gardens, we can use organic pesticides. So where we mix our chili, and also you can mix garlic with the chili, then you squeeze out water, and also you do what? You spray on your crops. That one you've gone organically. But when you want artificial farming, you can use artificial pesticides to spray on your crops. And another thing, if you don't want to use inorganic fertilizers, you also covered, you just go and get, I can talk about here, I use goat droppings. I get my goat droppings, I tie it in the sack and insert in water for over 1 month. Then I squeeze out water. That water becomes my fertilizer, where I just come and I pour on my vegetables. I don't need to go for fertilizers. I can do the fertilizer on my own, and my crop, it can go organically without any side effects to a final consumer.
Pest and disease control is manageable in a tower garden depending on the type of control methods used. Watering, on the other hand, should be adjusted based on the climatic conditions of your area to ensure healthy crop growth.
I often water depending on the weather. Maybe it has not rained. Maybe your garden, it can be in the semi-desert. It can be like in different places that we have different climates. So in the desert areas, we can water thrice a day. But here in Africa, we are in the tropical climate, where I do my watering oftenly according to the climate. I can water early morning, I can water late evening. This is how I do.
Owning a tower garden, whether at home or at school or in any institution, comes with several benefits. It provides easy access to fresh vegetables, improves nutrition, reduces food costs, and promotes sustainable living.
It has a lot of advantages around people in urban areas. First of all, you access the fresh vegetables. You don't need to go and buy in the market. That one, it has stayed in the fridge, and some of the nutrients in these vegetables, once it is disturbed, it disappears from the vegetable. So you get the fresh vegetable with a lot of nutrients in it. And another advantage, it is doing sustainable, it is bringing sustainability around you, where instead of destroying the environment with these sacks, we are recycling it, and we are doing it, using it very well to do our gardens. Another thing, it brings our environment to be smart. So it is like, as you're seeing my garden, it is like an adventure world where you just look, when you've designed it, when you've painted it, it looks something good around your family. It looks something good around your school or your institute. Any place that you can put. And another advantage, this one, it is also giving us the innovative knowledge among the young children, that they put in them the desire to love agriculture, because agriculture, it is not only going in the garden, in the big gardens. Someone else can do agriculture around a small space, and young people, they can admire it, and also young people, they can go for it and change their environment around them, and also solve the problem around their society. Yeah.
It's not too late to start your own garden and enjoy the many benefits of urban farming. Whether you are in a rural home or an urban apartment, a little space is all you need to begin.
Youth and also mothers, vulnerable people that are around the world there, the only thing is to go for this. They think it doesn't need a lot of money. you can be employed in this. And as I step on now, the projects are all over me. People, they are requesting to do a lot of gardens around them, the vertical gardens, the education environments around them. And I also want to advise the young youths to love agriculture. Love, because agriculture, you're solving the problems of people, and you're also adding globally to people who are suffering with climate. The only thing, you wake up early morning, you don't need to request it for job, you don't need to write applications, but only your skill can do something. You wake up and then you request it for a skill. The mothers, you don't need to beg the husbands, I can say the papas, for money. The only thing, you can start up your own business. When you do this thing, you have a small space, you can start your own business. Like as I step on now, I've already harvested. Within only 3 weeks, I've already harvested the first harvest, and I've already sold it. Then the next harvest, it is going to be next week, and I'm going to harvest it. People, they are going to buy it because it is on market. The only thing, you don't need even to advise. It is already market around you. The thing is green, looking good, and people, they admire such. For the mothers and also for the vulnerable people, you can start also anything, it can grow. You don't need to stretch your body enough while doing this farming.
Urban farming is more than just growing food. It's a lifestyle that promotes sustainability, self-reliance, and improved nutrition. Innovators like Wabusera Emma are leading the way, showing that even the smallest urban spaces can be transformed into productive gardens. With commitment and right knowledge, anyone can join this movement and make a meaningful impact in their community. Don't wait to start your urban farming journey today.